Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match on the Necroxus map generator here. So let's go ahead and introduce our players, starting here with Team 1 up here in the northeast and ending with Team 2 down here in the southwest. Starting with the Imperial Grey player of Spectre Slave 137. He's going first land as a Cybran. To the northeast in forest green, very good choice there, going first land as a Cybran. His name is Death by Succubus. That'd be a very interesting way to go. To the north in royal purple, we have Atlas underscore going first land as in Aeon. To the west, we have Legend Lore 2 going first land in tropical ocean blue as a Cybran. So 3 Cybrans so far on the front. And last but not least, for Team 1, we have Signal Runner making appearance once again, going first land in Royal Blue. So on Team 1 side of things, in terms of racial makeup, we have 3 Cybran, an Aeon, and a UEF. No Seraphim Tech for Team 1 to utilize. Let's get started with Team 2, starting with the light red pink player of Recther. No, Recether. Wreck, I'm going to call him going first first air, not first land, as an Aeon. To the south in orange, the color orange, we have Jagged Sauce going first land as an Aeon as well. Here we have Twitchy Mofo going first land in Pac-Man Yellow as the first Seraphim of the game. So Seraphim not being completely devoid in this match. To the southeast, we have Easy to Kill. Maybe he will be easy to kill, who knows. Going first land in Ruby Red as a Cybran. And last but not least, in Batman Gray, we have C2118 Freedom going first land as a Cybran as well. So on Team 2 side of things, we have 2 Aeon, 2 Cybran, and 1 Seraphim. No Aeon technology available to Team 2. So just to remind everybody, Team 1 does not have a Seraphim player, and Team 2 does not have an Aeon player. Sorry, not an Aeon player, a UEF player. Apologies for that. Let's go ahead and check out Reclaim. Well, there's a decent amount scattered around the map here. 22,000, a decent chunk of mass for everyone to scoop up. Probably was about 22,500, maybe 23. But that's still a decent amount of mass. In terms of mexes, there are a decent amount of chunks of 3 and 4 mass points located, pretty much along that center line. Starting from the northwest, eating to the southeast. 4 here, 3 here, 3 here, and 4 there, of course. These ones kind of closer to the main base aren't really in that much of contention. It's mainly going to be the middle down the line. There are a couple of groups of 2 and stuff like that, but mainly you'll see a lot of fighting. Probably here on this eastern side, probably in this little kind of hillish area. You can see a little plateau. And then in terms of the middle, a lot of it's going to happen here through this middle channel, but I think units can get through those little ways or valleys, whatever you want to call them, those little ditches between the little mountains and plateaus. So just so everyone's aware, make sure we keep track of that, ensuring that we just keep track of all the fancy maneuvering that our players will end up performing. We have, of course, players establishing a front line, and units out here from the player of Signal Runner are starting to do damage to a engineer. Killed it off. Going to prevent that early auxiliary mechs from being built. There is, a couple of pawns in the map. I don't see Navy being that much of a concern. I mean, you could probably, if let's say Team 1 captured the pawn, they could build some cruisers and lob missiles at wreck, but I don't know. It's not probably going to be that much of a concern. There's not a whole lot you can do with it, but we'll see if any of our players decide to go into the Navy here. Still more units grouping up here for Signal Runner, trying to deny any forward progression, but unfortunately for them, we have some units here from Wreck. He is pushing forward, ensuring that those units don't stay for very long. To the east, we're seeing a similar thing from Spectre Slave, as we're seeing from Wreck, he's pushing forward on this eastern side, has no contention whatsoever. And because of that, we have units out here from Death by Succubus actually getting into the front line of Team 2 and not really doing a whole lot, just kind of hanging out. I think they did. I don't know if they took out any engineers. It doesn't really look like it, but they are starting to get a nice little readout on enemy movements on that eastern side. We are starting to see a 2-to-1 advantage here for Team 2 on this southeastern side, whereas for Team 1, they have the advantage. So wouldn't be surprised to see this side fall quickly and this side fall quickly for the respective teams on those sides of the map. Pretty much splitting the map in half, horizontally versus vertically. Or diagonally, I guess. It's not really a vertical line. But it does look like Team 1 has grabbed both of the corners, and but they aren't going for the mexes right away. They're just going to establish a front line and then build behind it. That play does work, but you need the infrastructure to support you for that. And if you just have a large area of not captured, mexes or factories, whatever the case may be, it's kind of a moot point, because once that front line falls, that's it. There's nothing for the opponent to kind of go after. Well, not go after, but there's no slowing down the enemy. It's just, I'll just walk by everything and not have to worry about anything. But it does look like Rek was able to claim that northwestern side for his team, and looks like the comm of Sigma is going to push forward and see if he can recapture that section of the map. Gun speed and range going down for two of our players here. One from Twitchy Mofo and one here from Death by Succubus. We also have a T2 upgrade here for Jagged Sauce. Probably going to establish a front line. Defensive, probably fire base, probably in the middle. That'd be the best way to put it, or actually put it right here to ensure that units from Team 1 come in and kind of narrow in, pretty much creating a kill box. And yeah, so that's going to be something to look at. But we do have units, just never mind. These mountains are passable by units. That is kind of messing with a little bit of pathfinding. But these mountains, they're not tall enough apparently, so might as well just call them hills with some peaks, not mountains. But there are a lot of movement, a decent amount of movement here for Team 1, trying to just get an idea of what's going on. The movement of these units from Jagged Sauce has allowed the units here from Death by Succubus to push forward, claim the middle, and go, it's not really worth it. So they're going to pull back and assist Legend Lore with something. I don't know what, but we'll figure it out. Probing attacks here to the east for Twitchy Mofo, pushing back the forces of Spectre Slave here on this eastern side. He is starting to be kind of encumbered here. Units here from Easy to Kill are pushing forward as well. So again, that eastern side is going to fall soon. It's just a matter of how long can Spectre Slave hold out. On the flip side, though, we are having the not the Wreck, but Weck Ether. Again, not having an R there is throwing me off. The lightish red pink player of Weck is pushing forward and has done a decent amount of work, pretty much forcing back the player of Signal Runner to that little plateau area. And unlike Team 1, Team 2 has devoted 2 players to the south, while Team 1 has diverted 2 players specifically to the middle, and this is going to allow Team 1 to push in a little bit more. But units here from Twitchy Mofo are here as a distraction to ensure that forces from Team 1 pull back. And it doesn't look like those forces are retreating, though. Units are starting to surround the column of Jagged Sauce. We have a couple of PD here for assistance. This will do a lot of work to take out incoming units. Again, T1 units are fairly weak, so we're not going to see a whole lot of pushing more on that northern side for Legend Lore. He is going for T2. He also is a Cybran, so again, not really super tanky in terms of comm, as well as the Cybran faction isn't really designed for turtling. It's mainly designed for like utility and versatility, and with the Salems and all of that. So not really the best on the ground in terms of offense until they get like Monkey Lords and Bricks. Those are pretty much where they really do shine. Unfortunately here for Death by Succubus, a lot of his factories are under threat here. The dams are targeting the T2 land headquarters. That'd be a huge grab for Team 2 to get. They might get it with all of these Zui nearby. Zui are notorious for dealing with a bunch of buildings and structures. And you can see just the amount of firepower coming off of them. And they do take out that T2 factory, setting back Death by Succubus's tech. That's definitely going to hurt. And those units are summarily dealt with, but unfortunately their mission was completed. And again, another push here on this western side for Team 1 from Legend Lore, going after the comm, going after infrastructure. The radar would be a good thing to grab here. It is, 50 hit points, not really that strong. So having a couple Mantises just shoot at this would be very good for Team 1 to grab early on. Intel is one of the most important resources in the game. Denying your opponent intel is definitely one of the best ways to win the game, in my opinion at least. But we're also having reinforcing units from Signal Runner as well, drawing the forces away from Rek to his main base. And unfortunately, there's hardly any defenses here, and so a lot of damage will be able to occur. Jagsauce has cut off those reinforcing forces. The intel installation does go down, so it'll blind Team 2 in the middle for a little bit. They won't have any more, central intelligence gathering facilities. They have these two, but that T2 was definitely a huge grab. We are seeing a couple blazes appearing from the main base from Jagsauce, so not really going to get a whole lot of work done. These units are targeting T2 mechs, is definitely the thing to go after. A couple of them have fallen, of course, but I don't think they're going to get that much work done with these blazes appearing to help defend. Push again on the eastern side. Units here from Easy to Kill have actually got in behind the main force from Spectre Slave, and they are pushing that front line. They are starting to be pushed back. However, we are seeing PD emerge to help defend against those T1 units. Again, my opinion, the only thing Cerberus turrets are good for are T1 units. Besides that, they're not really that great unless you have 1,000 of them, which not a lot of players do. Still more pushing here along this little edge here. Death by Succubus trying to maneuver around. Again, it's a very tight fit, and it's going to be very difficult for units to traverse those areas of the map. I wouldn't expect like a Monkey Lord or something to like really easily, or even a Crab to just kind of just maneuver around. They'd be best to go down the middle slot. But the forces here from Spectre Slave still staving off that attack, but again, constantly being pushed back. These mexes haven't even been grabbed, I think, even once. Oh, they have been grabbed once. They were destroyed. Let's take a look at Ecos talking about mexes. Team 1 at 416, 420, and Team 2 at 390. They have an advantage of about 30 mass, I'd say 20 to 30 mass a second. In terms of total generated eco, we have Team 2 actually leading by about 5k mass. What's the reclaim like? Well, it's the reclaim that's keeping them in the lead for now. Reclaim, again, one of the most important resources in the game. It is technically free mass, just sitting there waiting for somebody to grab. You didn't even have to make it or construct anything. It's just sitting there waiting for the taken. Huge group of units, T1 and T2 units here for Rek on this western side. We have Signal Runner trying to establish a foothold. We have a couple of missile launchers. I wonder if they're targeting mexes would be the case. Don't think they'd be targeting the comm. Something was destroyed here, probably intel would be my guess, but I don't know. There's not really a lot of defenses here to protect the comm of Signal Runner, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that position fall fairly quickly. Or even the units from Rek come in around behind and take him out and surround him in a pincer maneuver. We have the comm of Legend Lore on the other side of the mountains now, establishing a foothold. He's put a bunch of the Cerberus turrets with a shield and building more all the time. And, this will take, this force from Sauce might be enough. But, like I said, Legend Lore has chosen the Sovereign faction. Or if he chose random, was dealt the Sovereign faction. Not really known for their, turtliness. This position will fall eventually with the assistance of these blazes. Are there any obsidians in this mix? I don't see any, but the turrets are targeting the T2 units first. That's where a lot of the damage is coming from in reinforcing units. These hoplites here from Legend Lore helping to assist on that western side. We are seeing artillery trying to shell that forward position, but there are some missile launches in the mix as well. This one already have almost 1,200 mass killed. It's a decent amount of mass to be killed for a missile launcher for sure. But it does look like Spectre Slave is trying to root out his enemy here. I would like to have seen Twitchy Mofo push with this advantage. There's no units to help defend. Very easy to, you know, take out that main base, but I just don't think there's enough here for Twitchy to really do much of anything. Unfortunately, he's going to have to sit by and just wait for units to build up once again. These units here from Legend Lore are pushing forward into the main infrastructure front lines of Team 2, dealing with, you know, engineering facilities in terms of like just producing engineers. They are going for this, I think, smaller production facility here for Twitchy Mofo, and Twitchy Mofo is actually pulling back to assist. There's some Utashalas online to help assist with taking out these units. There are a couple of hoplites, of course, T2 rocket bots. They aren't as powerful as T1 Arty in terms of structure damage, but they can do a lot of damage to units. You can see them wiping out a blaze quite quickly, and their missiles do target fairly well. They can miss, of course, like every simulated projectile in this game, but they do a decent amount of damage, and they fire fairly quickly, so something to be aware of. Team 2, of course, they have Cyber players as well, so they should be fully aware of those capabilities. But we are seeing a missile launch out here. Is it going for the comm? No? Okay, I thought it was going for the comm. I was like, wow, that would have been really interesting, but no, it's not. It's going for the tactical missile defense. Actually, no, it's going for the Mechs. One is built. The Volcano didn't fire for some reason. It's kind of weird. The Volcano's the best anti-tactical missiles in the game. They have those little, pretty much, they're essentially flares that shoot up, and multiple missiles can be distracted by one flare, so they are highly effective. We are seeing, again, a assistance here from the 4-screen player of Death by Succubus, cutting off the forces from Twitchy Mofo and pretty much securing this eastern peninsula for Team 1 once again. And again, we have Easy to Kill is on the front lines. We are having units fall back here for Spectre Slave. Team 1 not being super aggressive here, adjacent, and give, says Atlas. But we haven't even checked on the T3 side of things in terms of air. Well, both players for the air game have completed their respective facilities, and they're starting to pump out air grids as we speak. It does look like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. It does look like, I think Freedom has the slight advantage. There are a couple more facilities online for him. They're being produced all the time. That firebase here for Legend Lore is still under threat. Missiles raining in all the time. Actually, those are artillery shells. He takes a decent amount of hit points lost. And, of course, the T2 Aeon artillery leave these kind of green puffs. Not puffs of smoke, but they leave kind of behind a, what would you call them? Just like a lingering effect. And they do damage for a couple of seconds. That's where a lot of their damage does come from. It's not the initial hit. It's more of the lingering effect. So that's something to be aware of if you're facing or playing as the Aeon. Still have that position here for Signal Runner, and it's been built up quite heavily. We have more a PD. We have anti-air emplacements. He's even put some adjacency T1 Mechs to assist in building these missiles, and actually one of them has almost 5,000 mass killed. That is a lot for a missile launcher. That's a decent chunk of mass. So good on Signal Runner for using his tech to his advantage. But unfortunately, I think Legend Lore has decided to give up on this base. The amount of artillery raining down is just too much for his comm to bear, especially because he was dropped into the yellow. Something to be aware of. We are seeing T3 gunships, these, not Gemini, these whalers appear here for Freedom, taking out Mexes and taking out intel installations. Easily goes up in smoke, and does look like Spectre Slave is going to have a hard time holding this eastern side for now, considering he's only really using T1, a couple of T2 units in there, but I think he might be going for T3. Yep, he has his land facility online, producing engineers as we speak, and probably going for either Loyalists or a bunch of bricks. Units from Jagsaws are pushing that main center line here, and it does look like they're going to start dealing some damage, but they're not really moving with a purpose in terms of like what are they going after. They don't even take out a zapper, and are forced to retreat. Units from Legend Lord come in and assist, but not really that necessary, but always nice to have the assistance of a teammate. Almost at 20 minutes. Don't want to jinx it for any of the players. Obviously, this game was recorded before the video goes up, of course. But usually 20 minutes somebody dies, so no one's died so far. That's pretty good. They got about 40 seconds before the 20-minute mark is upon us. Easy to kill has not died yet, so apparently he is not easy to kill. We never even took a look at rankings here. Well, the highest rank is actually split between both teams. 1800s for both Team 1 and Team 2. Atlas and Freedom, respectively, for their teams. They are the air slots. And the lowest ranked player in the game is Death by Succubus at 1200, with the second lowest being Easy to Kill at 1300. Pretty much everybody staying roughly between 13 to 16, and then, of course, the jump to 18. For the leaders of the, I would say leaders, but the air slots for their teams. Missile launchers trying to be used to take out this position here for Signal Runner, but again, unless you have a huge amount of force, which I guess all of these blazes might be indication, it's not looking good for Signal Runner. If Rek does use these offensively fairly quickly, it does look like Signal Runner will be overwhelmed. He doesn't have any TMDs, so the missiles coming off those missile launchers are just free damage at this point. But he is shooting counter missiles at them as we speak. Engineers constantly being used to pump out more and more missiles, but we're having a Ravager come online and, of course, a Percy appearing. So it just, Rek could easily overwhelm this position if he chose to do so, but he's not pushing his advantage. And unfortunately for him, a Ravager will come online. Missiles raining in all the time. TMD should be a priority here for Signal Runner, just not doing it for some reason. Missiles being launched. Once again, the missile launchers here for Rek are just sitting there being shot at, and the missile will take out more hit points. But these blazers are hiding behind a little bit of cover, but not by much. And are going to be forced to retreat. Definitely a missed opportunity here for Rek to push an advantage and knock out Signal Runner from that position. Again, Team 1 still trying to hold this eastern side. Easy to Kill being a nuisance here in the southeast corner. Just constantly being like, nope, not going to hold it. Nope, not going to do it. And we have a probing attack once again from Sauce. Obsidian Taints making their appearance, making their presence known. They are probably the best T2 heavy tank in the game. They have shields with 1500 hit points, and they're just hard to kill. They're very annoying. Multiple rounds of missiles, multiple rounds of fire from restorers. They're just annoying to kill. But restorers again making their presence here for Atlas, the best T3 gunship hands down in the game, no questions asked. The anti-air capabilities on them alone are just, they're just amazing. Even though the whalers they're at deficit by 100 hit points, they do have anti-air capabilities, but I would say not as effective as restorers. I think whalers are more designed for ground targets, while restorers are mainly designed for air targets. So I guess it depends what your purpose with them is. That's how most units are in this game. But I still think overall the Restorer is definitely the pick. And it is a sensible faction to pick as an air player, because you also get access to the Tsar. The UEF is the only faction in the game that does not have an air experimental. And no, the Novax does not count. Even though it's technically launches an air unit, the defense satellite, I don't consider it an air experimental. Gun and damage going down here. First Signal Runner wants to make sure he can defend his fire base here to the west. And his units here are starting to make waves, dealing a bunch of damage. I would not recommend ringing your mexes until they're at T2. It's not really worth the... it's only one mass for 4... It's only one more mass a second for 4 mass storages. You might as well wait to T2 and get a better bonus out of that. I think it's... Is it 9 you get total? Let's see a T2 mex that is fully ringed. All I see is Intel installations. We have some Spectre gunships here dealing with this little band of engineers building some plasma cannons. They're T1. They're not really that effective against, any T2 unit, but at least in small numbers. ASF's moving in to help assist his gunships here for freedom. And again, these units are going to be pushed back, but a lot of infrastructure and actually almost all the mexes have been taken out. So Rek is going to feel that in his coffers here in his pocketbook. But again, these units here from Death by Succubus are just focusing this eastern side and have pushed back units from Twitchy Mofo pretty much to his main protection facilities on the front line. We are seeing these T3 Otham tanks making their presence known, and Bricks making their presence known here. And it does look like the Bricks will win with the assistance, of course, some... I always think these are Fervors, but they're not. They're Vipers. They kind of look like Fervors. Rhinos, of course, and we have, some intel. Actually, that's a stealth field bot. Don't really see... No AA. Say that's the only thing you're missing here. I guess a couple, but not a lot. Needs T3 needs T3 AA. You just need it. You always got to eat it. When you have a decent force like this, all it takes is a couple of gunships and it is gone, especially this far forward. But still, no one has died. 25 minutes almost. Please, if you've been enjoying the cast so far, please like and comment down below. Let me know what your guesses is for who's going to win, or just what your favorite moment has been so far. And of course, if you haven't hit that red button below the video, please do so. I greatly appreciate it. It's one of the ways I know that the videos I'm making are worthy of people coming back to watch them again and again. So please, if you have been enjoying the video and you haven't hit that red button, that sub button down below, please go ahead and do so. Now I guess it's base war time here for our teams, except for the southeastern side when it's just units firing at one another constantly. But we are seeing T2 naval tech here for Spectre's Slave. I wonder if he's going to build some Salems, or even just some cruisers to help lock down this eastern side with some AA. I don't know. We'll have to see what he's going on. But he does have a strategic missile defense. Does he see something on the southwestern side of the map? Well, I don't as of right now. Nothing constructed as we speak, though. I'm looking for that little missile icon. I don't see it. There have been experimentals built. One for Legend Lore. I think there was one built here. Yep, there's one here for Twitchy Mofo. It is the chicken, and it's going to be a Monkey Lord, I would assume, for Legend, unless he co-opted some tech. Yep, it is the Monkey Lord. Again, the cheapest experimental in the game. Very effective, just doesn't really have a lot of hit points. And this chicken is going to do a lot of damage to these units here from Death by Succubus. Death by Succubus is better to just retreat, fall back to a more defensible position, and take him out. Control this point so they don't have to keep helping you. Do not fight, says Atlas. Yeah, even Atlas, it says no, it's not worth it, just retreat. The chicken is on its way. Keep Bricks in the pond, says Spectre Slave. They do have torpedoes on them, so if the chicken would to go into the water, they can do some damage. The chicken is now in some range of some little engineers on a reclaim mission, and then they get summarily destroyed. I always feel bad for engineers being killed just for doing their jobs. It kind of hurts sometimes. But again, those units are trying to flee. Unfortunately, not all of them get into the water, and a lot of these Bricks and other units will go down. Didn't retreat fast enough. It does look like Death by Succubus clicks on all of his Bricks and says go in the water. At least save those units. They are the most expensive. Those lose, I think, 3 or 4 of them in that exchange. The chicken, only has lost about 15,000 hit points. Still a decent chunk, but it's nothing to worry about. There are incoming restores to deal with this. They should be targeting the AA. It's only T2. It's not the lightning tanks. But of course, there's a lot of flak, and the hit points will start to fall fairly rapidly. There actually are some lightning tanks back here. But flak is designed for gunships because gunships don't move that much, and they usually group up. We are having an ASF fight with the ASF here from Atlas not even moving. So C-2118 Freedom will get a huge amount of these kills for free, essentially, and will win air, it looks like. But the restorers are making it very difficult for him to gain a full air control. And I honestly think it actually has turned around. Freedom had the advantage, and then with the help of the restorers has actually lost the advantage and will lose all, or at least most of his ASF. Of course, I think Freedom has a little bit more factories, so he'll be able to produce those a little bit quicker. But look at this on this eastern side. A whole bunch of red units here from Easy to Kill going to be assisting this chicken. So this eastern side is going to fall, unfortunately for them. There is a crab in the mix, and it has, made its way onto land and is starting to attack the chicken. The chicken has taken a lot of damage, deciding to go in the water or not. But of course, Twitchy Mofo has to be aware that torpedoes are on the megalith, so if they pop into the water, but those bricks do get a lot of the damage from that chicken, and just the flood of red is on its way. It looks like the crab is going to try to do as much damage with the ion storm. When it dies, the brick should not be running into that. This push, actually, there's a lot of Lobos, there's a lot of, not Lobos, Medusa, Mantises, a whole bunch of Rhinos as well, and it's pretty much T1 and T2. I don't see any T3 units in here, but it does look like with the assistance of the restorers from Atlas, a lot of this push will peter out fairly quickly. We are seeing, of course, some bricks as well. So kind of a mixed mix of tech here, and the advantage here now is those bricks that were hiding in the water will now return and just try to push forward as much as they can. Units here from Easy to Kill will fall back, and a coordinated push does occur here in the center aisle. We have the Monkey Lord from Freedom. This should be really gifted over to Legend Lore. He's going to push forward with it, and a couple, actually a decent amount of bricks and assisting units are on their way. I see the Whaler Shadows on the ground. Unfortunately, the Monkey Lord has taken a severe amount of damage. Going to walk on top of everything. You don't get as much crushing damage with the Monkey Lord. But will its carcass deal a decent amount? Yes, it does. It takes out a huge section of those Harbingers. And unfortunately, the other Monkey Lord is taken out. So this push will be stopped in its tracks. Definitely unfortunate for Team 1. But they gained a lot of ground back here on the eastern side and are now going to push it, it looks like. But there is a Monkey Lord lurking in the shadows for Easy to Kill. Still, almost 30 minutes, and no one has died. But what is this? We have the laser here for Spectre Slave. Has the gun upgrade. Will he go teleporter? We'll have to wait and see. We have another SMD built here for Atlas. The comm of Sith Runner is retreating to his main base behind an SMD to ensure he survives. I think they see something more than I do, at least the current moment. Bunch of SAM sites are being built up here behind the cliffside to ensure their survival as much as possible and to just be annoying for Team 1. Still, nothing is being produced from this factory. Why build it? Oh, no, wait, there's a Salem. Okay, never mind. Just didn't see the little bar being built. But this forward position here for, let's see, for Jagged Sauce will kind of go down, but the Galactic Colossus from Wreck will make a decent amount of progress in preventing that push and actually probably take out most of these bricks here if the bricks don't fall back into the water here quickly. Is there a nuke launcher somewhere? No. Doesn't look like there is. So Team 1, is just preparing for possibly the inevitable, but of course the Olana odds could always be a issue if Team 2 decides to go that route, or at least if Twitchy Mofo goes in that direction. Not really seeing a whole lot of, forward momentum on either side, but it does look like this Monkey Lord will start to be, taken down by the assistance of this crab, and the Monkey Lord kind of doing some damage, but this little hillside, little mountainside will give it some reprieve for now until it comes back in view of that crab. We are having a push cut the supply lines of Easy to Kill, pretty much surrounding him on this southeastern side. Pretty much this will, if he doesn't leave now, he probably will not leave unless he can deal with this push coming out here from Death by Succubus. Such an interesting name, Death by Succubus. Usually that's like something that you would, I don't know, what would be that term, like, oh, what are they called? Shoot, I don't remember what they're called, but it's like, I guess the good example would be, like in Minecraft, like, oh, death by, swimming in lava, or death by arrow from a skeleton or something, that kind of thing. I know there's a name for that thing. I just don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Again, that push here from Legend Lore, still still trying to make some work done or get some work done, but it's just losing units all the time. We are seeing artillery being built up here. Where are they're right here for Legend Lord, trying to shell this position, pretty much do what was done to him earlier on. That push here from Spectre Slave has actually, made a lot of work done, and has actually caused the comm of Easy to Kill to retreat, but there are bricks on his tail, and there's too many bricks here for the Crab to kill, and that is the first kill of the game here. It is awarded to Team 1 by Death by Succubus, the lowest ranked player in the game, killing the second lowest ranked player in the game, and is now a 6v5, a 5v4 in Team 1's favor. There is still, of course, that Monkey Lord to be dealt with here soon. But the two crabs, actually the crab and the Monkey Lord I dealt with, this is not a full share game. It is, I think, a partial share game where like the infrastructure stays online, but the units are destroyed. Not the engineers, of course, but yeah, I think just the units for partial share are the ones, the offensive units at least, are the ones taken out. So that crab and Monkey Lord could have done a decent amount, but honestly with the two Monkey Lords right here and the crab, not really a whole lot. Chicken en route. A new chicken has been made, but unfortunately there are two Monkey Lords, and two Monkey Lords versus one chicken usually just goes the way of the Monkey Lords, unless the monkeys don't target the chicken, then the chicken will win. Still cleanup operations going down here for Death by Succubus, taking out some infrastructure, some T3 Mechs, and Team 1 is winning the eco generation game here at 2k mass per second, and the generated at 100,000. Wow, that's a decent chunk of mass to be down at 34 minutes and 25 seconds. Ion Storm goes off. A Monkey Lord does die, but the other one will live on, carry its brother's name on in to the future. Crab is starting to push forward on the southwestern side in conjunction with the forces here from Death by Succubus and Legend Lore. So 3 players are grouping up their forces on this eastern side, while Team 2 is just trying to hold out against this fat boy. And not really a whole lot going on this northwestern side. You would think that with the early advantages, Team 2 would push it, but the Zara that was built here from Atlas will be taken out, and there'll be a huge air fight over top of a decent amount of AA, but it does look like Atlas will win that fight once again pretty handedly. There's still probably 100 or so ASF left standing, and this push is just doing a whole lot here. But unfortunately, units here from Sector Slave do pull out, ensuring that if they do, these experimentals go down, they can claim the mass. The push here from Death by Succubus still going on, and of course Legend Lore is still going after that chicken that still won't die, but everyone has their own white whale. We do have a Colossus that is coming in range of a Fat Boy. The Fat Boy will go down. Its shields starting to fail here. Assistance from missile launchers are trying to do their best. Are they timed properly? Yeah, I think so. It's just hard to tell because of all those hit points on the Colossus. Gets a rank in vet, I think. Yeah, I think it got a rank in vet. And now this forward position here from Signal Runner will fall. If the comm was here, he would have surely died, unfortunately for him. Of course, the Restorers are trying to do the best. Ravagers are the main target. Looks like missile launchers are trying to launch what they got. There's 4 missiles in this one. You might as well launch them because it will go down. Definitely something. It's definitely a loss. But the Colossus will eventually go down, but the forward base will be taken out, unfortunately. We have a naval game kind of going on this western side. T2 Navy is being produced here for for Signal Runner, and he is producing those should be destroyers, I think. But I can't tell just off the image. The destroyers and the cruisers for UEF look very similar. Forces here from Death by Succubus are now retreating in face of that crab. But Scout SMD says Spectre Slave. Does someone have a nuke launcher? Yep, there it is. It's right here. And it has been built, and he's going to probably go... I would probably go after the air player. There's only one SMD, and it's right there. Not under shield coverage. Not the best place to put it. So, Team 2's got to be aware of that at some point. You only have one SMD, it looks like, for the entire team. This whole western side is unprotected, whereas Team 1, you have one back here for Signal Runner, one here for Atlas, one here for Death by Succubus, and one here for... Actually has a couple of them here for Spectre Slave. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe one built. Well, there's one here, but wouldn't be surprised to put one like maybe here, maybe in a little bit far forward. But of course, that position was taken out. That Colossus is still alive, but it's at 4 ranks of veterancy. It almost increases hit points by 50%, which is a decent amount of hit points. And the naval factory will go down. It was the destroyer, not a cruiser. We have some bricks assisting in the torpedo game, taking out some defensive positions and infrastructure. All these SAM sites being taken out. It's gotta hurt. Taking out the anti-air coverage would signal to Team 2 that maybe an airplay is on the cards. Well, I mean, with all these shockers, the T-3 strategic bombers, definitely it's got to be on their mind now, especially being used to take out the Colossus, and it will be taken out, unfortunately. Yep. Let's see who gets the kill. Yep, looks like it was the Strat Bomber. Can we get the one that took it out? I think it flew off screen. But look at Team 2 now. Look at all the infrastructure and everything that's just gone. No man's land is occurring on Team 2's side of things, which, is telling, considering Team 1 has been pummeled constantly on this eastern side. And now they've lost the northern side a little bit, but they are fighting back here with a decent horde of barracks from Legend Lore. And now Death by Succubus feels confident to put his units on that western side of that line of mountains, but not actually mountains. But we have 2 crabs and 4 chickens. 4 Thank you, Death by Succubus, for telling me there are 4 chickens. I greatly appreciate the comment. Couldn't have timed that better myself. And a bunch of bricks are on the way, and the crab and monkeys go, nope. No, I'm out of here. See ya. Not worth fighting 4 chickens and a Soul Ripper. So that is very interesting. The Soul Ripper will be used to take out the engineers here for Spectre Slave. There's one lonely banger here, but it will be taken out fairly quickly. Need help with right. I can't stop all of it. Yeah, it's definitely true. You can't stop all of that incoming fire. The forces from Death by Succubus will be taken out by the incoming Soul Ripper or the Bug and the crabs and chickens. But a lot of AA from... Actually, there's a couple of destroyers in here as well. And they are very slow, so it's going to take a while for them to retreat. We are having ASF surround, or at least accompany the Soul Ripper. ASFs might be given the target, but I think Freedom is using that to bait the ASF into an attack. We have multiple nukes. We have multiple nuke launches for Team 1 for Spectre Slave. Death by missile, or death by incoming nuclear waste, or whatever I forget what it's called. Oh, shoot. Forget my words. I'm lost for words. What is it called? Death by ICBMs, or death by nuclear bombardment. Yeah, nuclear bombardment. That's what I want to say. Wait for it to get closer, then we kill. Getting mass is easy, says Atlas. Yeah, that would be an idea, just to boost up your reclaim game. They are still, they're not leading the reclaim game, but about 260,000 reclaim. Decent chunk of mass. And Team 2 at 300,000. That's a lot. A lot of mass just for reclaim. Both of them could have built a Paragon with all that mass. That's how much mass they've reclaimed. It's a lot. But it does look like there seems to be a stir going over here. ASF's kind of positioned to shield the gunships. We are having broadswords brought in as well here from Signal Runner. Drop bombers over the top. The offensive air units have been given the order. The crab pops out of the water. The Salems move back. The first crab is the target. Oh, I guess not. Well, they're not all given the same target. Those look like the bombers were given this target. The Strat bombers will not be shot at, apparently, by the ASF. The ASF doesn't want to engage. The first chicken falls. The second chicken will fall. A Salem will probably die. Yep, will die. But the crab might make it into the water. It will make it into the water, so it will survive. But the torpedoes coming off of all of those Salem's, and of course the crab and the bricks. Not going to last very long. You can see the hit points just start to fall quite fast. But we still have 2 more crabs and a chicken for Team 1 to deal with. And they do have 2 monkey lords in reserve to help assist, with probably another one at least at some point on its way. Yep, another crab is almost done. Excuse me, there are 4 nuke launchers. 4. That's just a lot. That you don't need 4. You need probably like 2 with a bunch of hives. You don't need 4. That's just a lot of nukes. It's like Operation Broken Arrow, and they found all of the nukes lost by the U.S. That's the term for nukes lost in the wild, is Broken Arrow, which is kind of a good name for it, because it's, you know, an arrow, you break it in half, you've lost your ability to use it, especially if you lost the arrowhead, of course, or the tip of it. But ASF fight, it might actually go the way of Freedom here, but there are ASF coming in for Atlas all the time. There's not a lot of restorers or AA to help assist, and it does look like Freedom will back off. A crab, actually a monkey does fall, but a crab is taken out. There's another crab appearing here for Team 2. Still 2 more chickens to deal with. The other monkey lord is vanquished, and now it's just a crab versus 2 crabs and 2 monkeys. But a second crab is making its way onto the battlefield here with a bunch of bricks in support. And it's not really looking good here on this eastern side. There are some gunships, some whalers on the way, and a megalith to replenish the front lines. But the chicken is the target of priority here for all of these units, at least the crab at least. Doesn't really look good. The crab will fall, and there's just a bunch of AA here. But now we're having focus fire from a bunch of crabs, and of course the whalers are on their way. The AA support should move in to help assist with that, but they are not. Oh, they're starting to be in range. See all those missiles, all those, you know, projectiles come off to deal with the whalers. These were built up to deal with the Soul Ripper, of course, but now it's just a bunch of bricks, and against 2 crabs. I guess it's just 2 crabs. The chickens are down. But there's a push here on the eastern side for a bunch of bricks while Spectre Slave has been distracted. A lot of the fighting has been going on the southeastern side. We actually saw some Colossus here at some point, but they were dealt with. They've been dealt with over there. But still, Team 2 still holding on that western side. But now the bricks are coming in full force, and it doesn't really matter. There's a second megalith on its way to help assist. The bricks will probably deal with this front forward base, but I don't think they're going to make any progress after that. How are the nukes looking? Well, this one isn't loaded. This one isn't loaded. None of them are loaded. None of them have assistance, so it's going to take a minute for them to all build up. But the bricks from Team 1's Spectre Slave will come in and dice all of the other bricks up, being followed by 2 megaliths and a third in the back. So it's going to be a 2v3 situation with no assisting forces here for Spectre Slave. For Freedom, of course, Freedom pushed all of his bricks to that eastern side. Did a decent amount of work, though. Took out some mexes, took out some facilities, but I don't think it will matter. That megalith is just being annihilated by air forces. ASFs are nowhere nearby. There are some bouncers nearby to start dealing with the bombers, but I don't think it's going to be enough. That megalith will fall fairly quickly, and unless Freedom sends his air in, I don't think he has enough to deal with all this. Atlas is winning by probably a decent amount. How many we got? Almost 300 here for Atlas, and for Freedom we got 177. So almost a 2-to-1 advantage here for Atlas, and he's not going to engage with that. And the second crab falls. The engineers are given orders to reclaim as much as they can. Probably the best idea here, just to get as much reclaim or return on investment as they can. More monkey lords are appearing down the middle here for Legend Lore. More bricks appearing here for Death by Succubus. We have a Fat Boy starting to, encroach on Team 2's main infrastructure, and a decent amount of crabs have made it into the back line here against Rex main base. That's gotta hurt, but this is pretty much all of the fight, not all of the fighting, but a majority of the fighting. A lot of this rests on whether or not Team 2 can hold this eastern side. Having incursions from monkey lords and bricks and all that isn't helping, but the restorers are now making their move. Now the goal should be taking out the AA, and then the restorers can act without any issue. There are some SAM sites, of course. Actually, they're not SAM sites. They're anti-air defenses that point their direct fire. They're not SAMs, surface-to-air missiles. So need to make sure. I just call them SAMs just because it's really easy. Everyone knows what, you know, T3 anti-air SAMs, but they technically are not called that. So I try to remind myself once in a while that, oh, those aren't called SAMs. So, but it does look like the ASF are retreating against or away from these ASF here for Team 2's Freedom. But it does look like the ASF's going to target the bug, maybe, or they're just going to do a blanket attack, take out the ASFs. The Monkey Lord 4 Legend Lord does go down. The bug is not the one targeting, so it looks like Atlas focusing the ASF first and then dealing with the bug. Good, sensible move, ensuring that nothing can shoot at it relatively. Obviously, the SAM sites are kind of a different story. But now the Soul Ripper has no assisting ASF to protect it, and there's just, look at all the dead bodies. Look at all the reclaim. That's so much. Look at the the red dots just everywhere. How much mass do we got on the field? 500,000 mass. 500,000 plus. That is a lot. And now that Soul Ripper will go down, unfortunately, for Freedom. We are at 46 minutes. Only one player has died so far. Do we have any sort of game enders on the way? Scathuses, Yolana Osses, anything? I don't see anything. Does look like some of the air grid was taken out by something. Oh, it's artillery, and it's coming in from Team 1. Where is it coming from? Well, 2 locations. We have a disruptor and a second one coming online here fairly quickly, and we have one here from Team 1's player of Signal Runner. So 2 artillery starting to make pain for Team 2, going after the large grid of mass FAF farms. Very volatile, but we do have an emissary started. It's going to be a while before that's completed, though. How do the nukes look on the eastern side? Well, still haven't loaded any of them, but they are getting close to loading. It does look like Spectre Slave's just kind of having them there, and then eventually when they finish building, then he'll launch it. Probably all 4 at the same time would be my guess. So he's allowing time to take out the SMD. There are 1, 2, 3 of them online here for Team 2. So I think those are going to be the targets. They are going after Pigeons, it looks like, or Mass. Another Megalith finishing up for Freedom. But again, just Team 2 constantly being shoved back. Even they try to make an attempt, they get taken out. A lot of these engineers are just going to go down to T1 bombers, the Zeus, and of course a Brick helping to assist that. Megalith's trying to do what they can. Chicken's trying to do what they can, but Team 2 is just constantly being pummeled, and they can't have any bit of respite. Team 1 saying no rest for the wicked. Actually, there's another emissary. There's 2 of them. Apologies, there were 4. There are 4 artillery online here for Team 1. That is a significant amount of artillery, especially with Team 2 having nothing. The target should be the SMD, and then just call on the nukes and just call it, not mutually assured destruction, but mass casualties, or nuclear blanketing, something. But just crabs constantly dealing a lot of damage against other crabs. Just thousands of hit points, just shredded. Restorers trying to do what they can. They're going to get that Monkey Lord though, so they will get a victory there. But the ASF aren't doing anything for Atlas. That's kind of surprising since the Restorers are just right there. But it does look like Atlas has lost a lot of his ASF though. How many does he have left? He had 200 at almost 300. Now he's only had 111, so not a whole lot left. But there's 4 versus 2 with a bunch of support from both teams. Unfortunately, the numbers are just in Team 1's favor. Even if they take out a crab or 2, it won't matter. They're focusing the bricks first. The bricks and a crab are focusing the bricks, and then they'll take out the other megalith. And look, just that one's gone. All of them are still online. He's pulling back his almost destroyed one, probably drawing in this other megalith, and all of those bricks are pretty much gone now. Look at all those hit points just gone, and goodbye. We're having bricks target some AA emplacements. Actually, not AA. There are torpedo launchers, surprisingly. They're going after bricks, more bricks securing, but does look like Team 1 using the waters to their advantage, at least building units that can, fire torpedoes on their chassis. Definitely an advantage for those Cyberns. And again, Cyberns are known for their versatility. So, Megaliths have torpedoes, bricks have torpedoes. Of course, T2 destroyers have torpedoes. They also can walk onto land. That's also a thing. So Cyberns are known for their... How does 7 nukes sound, says Spectre Slave. Oh, there's 3 more up here. He's like, yeah, I'm going to build as many nukes as I want. And now he's going to prioritize them. So we got almost 3 loaded so far. I had no idea you had nukes. I would have been harder. I was asking. I have 7 strategic missile launchers, 4 almost. Yeah, that's a lot of nukes. And now the target is, of course, those SMD. One of the... No, this one has no coverage, so... it only has 1 anti-nuke in it, though. But that SMD is... Oh, Twitchy Mofo's nearby. Oh, it takes a hit directly to that comm. Almost is gone. It's in the red. Shields are trying to be built as fast as possible. He's missing. He's being missed quite frequently. Twitchy Mofo does leave the shield coverage, and he'll die because of it. That is a kill here for Team 1. Who gets credit? Legendlord gets the credit for that kill. It's now a 5v3 in Team 1's favor still. And 4 Megaliths are still pushing. Megalith is going to retreat. Again, constantly losing thousands of hit points. Trying to do as best they can. That SMD is gone. There's only 2 left standing. Actually, 3 left standing. The... oh, I see a Colossus trying to do its best. Oh, they're going to target the SMD, and it's gone. The second SMD is gone. There's only 2 left standing. The artillery was destroyed by some bombers. 1 nuke has been launched. I think it's a probing nuke. There are still 2 loaded. The second one is launched. The third one will launch. The fourth one will launch. And then, of course, there's still 3 more back there still loading. The front lines are the targets here. The SMD has 3 nukes in it. That one will get shot down unless that SMD is targeted. That nuke is shot down. Yeah, so these SMD will protect Team 2 for now. Unfortunately, though, they don't really have that much left standing. A lot of their infrastructure was taken out by all of those incoming, shells from Artie and, of course, the Megaliths as well. This push hasn't stopped for the past maybe 5 minutes or so. It's moved forward. That one will be shot down once more. That is all the nukes for now for Spectre Slave. He's going, well, I know where that SMD is. Just a moment more. Freedom decides the game is over for him. Decides to leave. We'll see how much is destroyed when he leaves, and transfer of control is transferred over. Yeah, so pretty much just the units, the RASCOMs and the engineers do stay online. The emissary was taken out. Unfortunately, I think there were 2 of them there too, or at least the second one was building. Restore is focusing the AA. Unfortunately, there's just so much AA, it doesn't really matter. Even if you kill some of it, you're going to need another wave or so. Team 1 just pushing Team 2 into a corner constantly. Not letting up, constantly just pumping out bricks. Of course, bricks are so annoying to take out. 7,500 hit points on those bots. And just thousands of hit points shredded on the Colossus. They're actually pulling away, though. Not the best move there. That Colossus is going to just get free damage. But the southern side is almost completely gone. These 5 Megaliths have nothing to fear. Artillery is taking everything out. That SMD falls. The last SMD on Team 2 is taken out. Team 2 is completely defenseless against nukes. I need more. I need more nukes. Let's do 15. Is he gonna build? He's built another one, and he's gonna build more as we speak. Man, that guy's just pumping them out as fast as he can, huh? Spectre Slave's going total nuke annihilation. Nothing will be left standing. Artillery raining in. The comm of Sauce takes a beating. Not a whole lot of damage. Does get AoE explosions from those P-gens, and of course an artillery shell landing nearby. Will he be taken out by an artillery shell, or will he just control K? Oh, it's close. Raining down all the time. It's not looking good. Oof, says Spectre Slave. I think he won't make it out of the line of fire. Spectre Slave has been defeated by Wreck. He spammed up some Galactic Colossus and has built another one. That has got to hurt. I think he might have been just taken up by the Rascoms themselves. You happy, Wreck? Yes. He gets some vengeance, but does look like Soul Ripper is going to be spammed up. Death by Succubus is under threat, though. All of the Rascoms are brought into support. I didn't even see Wreck teleport, and it does look like the Calm of Sauce is defeated by Atlas. Probably artillery shells, it looks like. Yep. But it's not looking good. Those Rascoms were sacrificed to at least take out one of the players of Team 1, and it does look like the Calm of Wreck does retreat, or does Control K and just says goodbye. But Team 1 does not get a flawless victory. They lost a player at the last minute. That has got to hurt. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nukes. Launchers were built, so he was going full nukage. But at 55 minutes, I mean, the game was already over probably 6 or 7 minutes ago. So thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please like and comment what your favorite part of the video was. And let me know down in the comments what I can do better for my setup in terms of audio, video. I'm getting over sick. I'm getting a lot of congestion in my nose, so that's why my voice probably sounds a little bit different. But again, thank you so much for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Please like and comment down below. And I will see all of you lovely people, including you and you and you, in the next one.